Welcome to Social Work. If you're here, that means you are taking the first steps on your social work journey. Um, it is a very interesting profession, and you could talk to, I'm sure, 100 different social workers and get 100 different answers about the kinds of work that they do and what their experiences are because social work is so broad and used in so many different settings. Um, One of the biggest things that I've learned working in social work is that it takes an enormous amount of um, self awareness and confidence to be able to work with other people, taking into consideration how you are presenting yourself, as well as really taking the time to get to know clients. Um, that means, noticing their body language and what their tone of voice is and what they're saying, as well as those things in ourselves as well. Noticing people's cues and really taking an interest in who they are as people will take you a really long and far way. If people know that you are genuinely interested in them, then they are more likely to be a much more compliant and um, open vessel for whichever your goals of the service that you are working in are. Um, One of my biggest things that I have learned by being in the field that I did not learn in school was that you cannot please everyone. Uh, it is really difficult, especially when there are different parties involved and different people have different wishes, to really have to take a step back and think, okay, I'm here to do a job and to execute these tasks, and while I care about people's feelings, that cannot be the decision maker behind the decisions that you make as a social worker. And luckily, in a variety of professions, there are multiple people involved who can kind of help navigate those tricky situations as well. So, that would be my tip, was to learn that you can't please everyone. At the end of the day, what's really matter is that you're advocating for what you think is best for the population that you are serving, and really taking an approach of, not only what I think is best as a person, but more clinically speaking as a social worker. Here is my, assessment of the situation. Um, so something else to consider is, why are social workers so important? And the answer to that is because we live in a world where there are different distributions of power and resources, and we also live in a world where people abuse those powers and resources. Um, Furthermore, you know, are people have emotions and people have issues going on and past traumas, and moving forward in their life they are likely to experience a variety of different things that will trigger those traumas or those unresolved issues. And so it's really important to have social workers all over any any field to kind of be a support for those people who need it, as well as really just making sure that there's an advocate if anyone needs someone to advocate for them, or if someone needs information regarding best practices on how to, keep themselves safe or other people. Um, Really, there are, thousands of different kinds of doctors in all sorts of settings, and nurses and things like that. And the purpose of that is because if you get sick or if you get hurt, you need a doctor, or you need a walk-in clinic, or you need to go to the hospital, or you need to call 911 and get an emergency services. And just like our physical health, our mental health and emotional health and our safety is really important as well. And that is why we need social workers to help fill those gaps in our community. So it's a big job, but I'm sure as you are, learning in your classes, you might be overwhelmed, you might be nervous about entering the field, you might be excited. I will promise you that it's nothing like what you're thinking it is, but it's hard and it's rewarding and it's good work. And I know you're going to be an amazing social worker one day, so good luck.